In this video, I'm going to show you how I shot this short film in one day and hopefully help you in your dream project / short film on how it can go as smooth as possible. I'm gonna run you through 3 quick tips that will make your short film, video, anything that you're trying to make just go so much smoother. And then we're gonna dive into some scenes from the short film and break them down and how we did them. So last year around July, I think it was, my friend Sam, AKA cuffgod, one of the most talented creative people I've ever met, asked me to be the cinematographer and colorist for a short film / collection of songs he wanted to bring to life. Then the short film would be directed by Nico, aka serbtrash, aka Shermer Studios, a very, very talented filmmaker on his own and a very detailed oriented and incredible director. So the first thing, and maybe the most important thing before you even start shooting a single frame of your short film, is you need to put together a good team. And to be honest, I can't take a single ounce of credit for this one because Sam and Nico assembled like the Avengers of film crews, and they just got all of their friends to help, and it was absolutely amazing. Yes, it is good to shoot by yourself. I film 90% of my stuff by myself, but if you have bigger ambitions for a film or a bigger video or a spec ads, anything like that, don't be afraid to ask friends, other creatives in the space, in your area to help out. More often than not, they're gonna say yes, and it's gonna make the whole process so much smoother to have more hands on deck. The next thing is something you definitely don't have to do, but it's gonna make your shooting experience go just a lot smoother in my opinion, and that is to use the sun as much as possible. We shot this entire film using just natural light. The less you have to rely on setting up lights and lighting scenes, the faster and just easier the whole day is gonna go. The sun is super predictable. You know it's gonna rise over there and it's gonna set over here. So if you just plan your day of what you wanna shoot where the sun is, then you're gonna have no issues. Like this shot, for example, we shot early morning because we knew we wanted that sunrise light. And then for this shot, we shot it at sunset because we wanted that golden hour sunset vibe. Is also a very important thing is to do as much pre-production as you possibly can. Sam and Nico already had an amazing storyboard, script, inspiration, all already planned out before they even brought me on. So my pre-production really just consisted of going through each shot and seeing which shots were possible and what I needed to bring gear-wise for each shot. I have a lot of Nico's original thumbnail sketches that he did for certain scenes, so I will be putting them side by side. So his thumbnail sketch and then the final product. I think it's such a cool thing to look at when you look at Nico's vision for it all and what he had planned and then what we executed. Now this first shot I'm gonna be breaking down was a fun one because I got to hang out the sunroof of a car, but it was also incredibly stressful because that meant my camera was also out the sunroof of a car. I shot the entire thing on my A7 IV with my Sigma 24-70 and pretty much this exact same rig, but I had a monitor on the top. Very simple, keep it simple. It'll make your day a lot easier. And with this tripod as well, which is just a cheap K&F with a newer fluid head on top. So yeah, that's the rig I used. Sam and Nico wanted this entire scene to be one continuous shot. The biggest problem we had with this shot is there was gonna be cars going on the road, obviously. So we did think for a second to fake shut down the road with high-vis vests and pylons, but we decided against that because it could probably get us in some trouble and we don't want that. So maybe don't do that. So we just waited for our opportunity to start. We got some weird looks from the cars passing us, but in the end, I think it was the best decision to have the cars still on the road because it just felt more realistic and natural. Our first thought for this shot was to have me sitting in the trunk of a car with my camera, but Nico and Sam wanted it a little higher and I agree with them. It looks a lot better. They wanted it higher so you could see the entire road in behind Sam. We wanted to kind of give the illusion that it was like maybe a drone, but we obviously didn't want to buy a drone. So I think what we achieved with me out the sunroof and my tripod extended pretty high, I think we got what we were looking for here. Another difficult thing for this shot we found was we wanted the car that I was in to be the exact same speed as Sam walking down the road. So it took a few tries to nail the speed and communication between me out the sunroof, our assistant director in the driver's seat, and then Nico in the back monitoring my feed on an iPad. Yeah, slow it down a bit. Yeah, that's a good speed. Slow it down a bit. Okay, Frank, go ahead. If the car wasn't going the right speed, we would just communicate to the driver and have them slow down or speed up to try and match the speed of Sam. This next scene and these next shots are definitely some of my favorite that we did. And for these ones, we wanted to get shots of a farmer going through his morning routine. So Sam reached out to a local farm and asked if we could use his farm for about, I think we were there for like an hour or two. And in exchange, we gave them some social media content that they could use on their website, social media, wherever. So if you're ever trying to get a location for a shoot, I think the best thing to do is just be honest. Say you're just a group of friends trying to shoot a short film, and I think more often than not, people are gonna be a lot nicer than you think, especially if you offer some sort of like content in exchange or even just paying them. All you gotta do is ask. The worst thing that they can say is no. What made these shots go so well, in my opinion, was we started off the day with this. This was the very first thing we shot, and they were very relaxed, documentary styled shots. Honestly, the hardest thing for me was just getting up early for the call time. So we had the owner of the farm walk Sam's dad, AKA the farmer in the film. We had him walk through the morning routines that he would do every day on the farm. And then I just followed with my camera, capturing it in like a very relaxed, documentary styled, handheld, and honestly, I don't think it could have gone much smoother than it did. I think 90% of the shots we did here were first takes that made it into the film, just because we wanted it to feel as normal and natural as we possibly could. So any imperfections were kind of good in this scene because we didn't want it to feel overproduced or anything like that. We just wanted it to be me with the camera following a farmer around in his morning routines. The last scene I want to break down was definitely the most time-consuming and hardest shot to get for this whole film. It was the hardest just because we had so many more props than every other shot, and we had so many more extras than every other shot. We wanted this scene to be a kind of country barn party kind of thing. And again, Sam just asked a bunch of family and friends to come and be extras in exchange for some free beer and food, which worked out perfectly. And we were lucky enough that the structure in the shot is actually on Sam's property. We didn't have to rent another location. The first trouble we had with this shot is we wanted the sky to be the perfect colors. So there was a lot of waiting around for the sun to just go right behind the building. We tried shooting it with the sun up, and the sun was directly into the lens, so it just looked horrible. But we used this time to make sure that the props and everything were perfect. And then also our director and assistant director took that time to direct the extras and let them know what they were doing. So when we hit record and started filming, they knew exactly what they were gonna do, and they killed it. The next hardest thing for me was definitely the camera movement. I wanted it to be as smooth as possible, and we didn't have a gimbal or anything like that. I do like the handheld look, but it was, I think personally, maybe a little too long for a handheld shot. Maybe I'm just shit at it and can get better, obviously, but it also made it tough because it was my first time really understanding what the camera movement was and what Nico wanted the shot to be. So it was a lot of takes, me messing up and Nico kind of walking me through what he wanted. I think with the two people dancing coming in right in front of the camera was just so perfect. I think they nailed it. We got the timing down absolutely perfect. The colors look great. It's nice to put a lot of work into a shot and then have something that you're really proud of. If you like this little breakdown BTS video, let me know. I have a couple other projects that I would love to do this with. So I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.